everybody. So this video is actually a request from one of my followers. I'm going to be teaching you how to use the new offset feature. It's quite easy. You just have to follow certain steps. So the first thing, of course, is to go and do your text. So over here on the left hand side, you'll see the T. It's for text. You click on that and you can type in your text. So I'll just type in hello. Now the next thing you want to do is to figure out your font, which is up here on the top left, and I'm going to go under System. I don't have a subscription, so I just use whatever's on my desktop or whatever's on my laptop. And we're just going to go down and we're going to find a font that I think will look nice. So let's just do that. I'll make it a little bigger so you can see it. Once you've done that, you need to do your letter spacing and get it all set up the way you want it. You can either use the up-down arrows, or you can actually type in here, so 0.3 let's say, to get your letters the way you want them. Once you've done that, you are ready to use the offset. To use the offset, you have to have your word selected. Go up to the top here and choose the drop-down arrow and choose offset. There's two features here. You can do the rounded corner or the square corner. Honestly, I've never done the square corner, but I'm assuming it would be like anything else. Now, this is still in the beta. If you can see right here, this is still in the beta testing stage. So if you find that things are glitching, that might be why, is because they haven't got all the bugs worked out of it yet. For this demonstration, I'm going to use the corner. So I switched it back to the corner, and as you can see down here, it's kind of stuck on, oh, there we go. So I'm going to try that again. So click on your word, on the offset, I have it on the curve. This little dot here allows you to make the offset bigger or smaller. Now you can get pretty funky. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over here, so as we're working on it, you can see. So if you can make some pretty funky offsets with it. But what we want to do is to basically make a shadow around the word. So choose the size that you want it to be. You can either move the dot, or you can actually go over here and do some typing if you want it quite small. Now, if you go quite small, you'll notice that there's little spaces in between. Don't worry about that. We can fix that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to click Apply. So now, as you can see, we have our word with our shadow behind it. So if you click away from there, now you can click and drag the word down out of the way, and now you have the shadow, the offset, to deal with. So right now we're going to deal with these spaces. If you click on that word and then go down to the bottom right hand side and click on Contour, this allows you to get rid of anything that you don't want. So right now we click on Hide All Contours, and then just go up to the top and click on the X. Now all of those spaces are gone. I prefer it that way so that when you put the word back on here and you cut it out on your vinyl, you're not having these extra spaces and wondering what they're all about. So once you've done that, you're happy with how it is, drag across both of them to select them and go up to Align and click on Center. This will put your word dead center in the halo. Now you're ready to move on. So let's say you were wanting to, excuse me, let's say you were wanting to make a sign. So let's start over with a new word. So let's type Smith, and I'm just going to put it in capital letters. And I'm going to go up to my font, and I'm going to change this font to something that's bolder, thicker, bolder. Maybe that one. Yeah, that'll work. So you want something that doesn't have a lot of loops and swirls and nothing fancy. You just want something plain. Now the other thing you can do is click up under Style, click on the drop down arrow and choose Bold. So that'll make the lines just that much. Oh, you know what? I don't like that. I didn't realize it had all those little white spots. So I'm going to choose a different one. Hang on. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Here, that one. Arial black. There, that's perfect. So now we have our word. Again, we're going to make sure that we have it exactly the way we want it. We can move the letters closer together. We can move them further apart. However you want, get that base word ready for you. So we'll click away from there and go back to the text because now I want to add the people's names. So Bob and Mary. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to have the people's names. How I do mine is to do the people's names in like a script font. Whoops, wrong section. So again, what I like to do is in my system, I like to just go up to under search fonts and just type in script and then push enter on your keyboard, and this will bring up all your script fonts that are on your laptop, computer, whatever it is you're using. So let's find one, let's do this French script. Okay, so again, I don't want this one in bold, so I'm going to put it back to regular. There, that looks a little better. So again, we need to change up our letter spacing. For right now, I'm just going to make it a little bigger so we can see it better. So I'm going to reduce the letter spacing. When you're using script, a lot of times they'll have connectors for the letters. So we'll just keep going down until it looks pretty good. Now, a lot of times they won't match up. I will tell you that right now. So you can go up to your, I can't access that. I need to ungroup this. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go up to ungroup. And now each one of these letters, get my mouse back here. Each one of these letters is separate. So now we can move them around however we want. So I'm just going to arrange these so that the way I think that they'll look good. Okay, and move that over and bang that back. There, I think that looks good. So now at this point in time, I'm happy with it. So what I like to do is I like to group each word separately. So I'm just clicked and drag over the word and go down to weld. That word is now one. And I'm going to do the same thing with Bob. Click weld. And now I can take and line these three up and get them arranged the way I think they look good. See, I think that and is too big, so I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. That, a little bigger maybe. There, that's better. I like that. All right. So I'm just going to move these in a little bit closer. There, I like that. So now I'm going to select everything, and again, I'm going to hit weld. If you don't hit weld and you go to make it, so let me back up and show you this here. So if I keep it the way it is so that, oh, I already welded these words. If you don't weld them, when you click on make it, it's going to take and organize all of these in alphabetical order across the top of the mat, which is not what you want. So you need to make it. Before you make it, you need to weld those together. So now they're all as one. So I'm just going to bring this up here where I can see it. So now we have our last name and our first names. So now I need to create the offset. So I'm going to click on Bob and Mary, go up to offset, and now I'm going to start deciding how I want this to look. So as you can see down here, there's a lot of kind of funky lines going on. And again, that's because we're in the beta stage. they'll eventually get all the bugs worked out of it, but for right now, you just kind of gotta move things around, get it to where you like it, where there's no extra lines in there. I'm just going to, oh, see, that's too much, so 0.7, there we go. All right, so we'll go with that and click apply. So now we've got our offset and we have our wording. Now in this example, there's no white in between any of the letters, so we don't need to do the contour bit. So now I'm going to lay these two back on top of each other and I'm going to align them to the center because that's way too big for what I want to do. So now that I've got it centered, I'm going to reduce the size. So you can either use the arrows here or you can go up to the top under size for the width and the height and do them in there. But this works just as well for what we're doing. So I'm just going to lay that over top of the word Smith. Whoops, and I forgot to, I moved it, so I have to recenter it. And we'll just, oh my goodness, I keep hitting the wrong button. You know what? I'm going to align these and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to group them. That way they're together and they're not going to keep coming apart on me like what was happening. So now at this point you can take your words, get them centered on where you think you want them, highlight both of them, and you can go up to align and click center again. Didn't actually work the way I wanted it because I want Bob and Mary more in this area, not over here. So I'm just going to click away from there and then just move it myself. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to ungroup it because the next step is we need to, right there, we need to slice this offset out of the word Smith. So I'm going to highlight both of those, going to click on slice. Now I can move the word Smith and you're going to have 3 pieces here. These are all just sliced out of this, so we're just going to delete all of those. We don't need those. We have our word with our offset cut out of it. So I'm going to get this in here. I mean, at this point it doesn't matter because once you click make it, it will print those two and then you can, if you, let's say you wanted Bob and Mary and to be a different color, let's say you wanted that in a red. So you would click on the red, change it to the red, and then when you go to print it, it will print Smith on your black, and on your second mat, it'll have Bob and Mary with your red. So that's pretty much all it is. And just like I said, you have to remember to weld these before you click on Make It. So now if I go up to the right and click Make It, it sorts the text into different, oh, it's got my hello in there. Hold on. Hello. I'm just going to hide those. So now if I click Make It, it's going to sort Smith onto one mat because we want it in black for this example. And down here we have Bob and Mary, and it's on a different mat because I chose the red. The color that you choose in the design area is not anything other than to tell the Cricut machine to cut it onto 2 different mats because you're using 2 different colors. And we do not need to mirror these because we're not putting them on clothing or anything. So, and that's it. The only other thing I would suggest is that you save your project because it, like any other computer program, it can glitch out and close out on you and then you've lost all your work. So be sure to save often. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or any comments whatsoever, please leave them in the comment section below. Feel free to check out my Facebook page, Krista's So Crafty. I'll leave the link below. And happy crafting! Bye for now.